Read
Junk.
ReadJunk.
ReadJunk
Podcast.
ReadJunk Podcast with your host, my dad.
Hey everybody, it's the ReadJunk Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Kremko. I'm back with a bit of a catch-up episode. I was planning on doing some episodes in March, but then things just didn't align right with guests, or I was just sick, or watching a sick kid. It was a bit frustrating, but it happens. Some big news, if you haven't heard already, ReadJunk is presenting a show on my birthday, July 19th, at Gramercy Theater in New York City called Radix Fest. It's with Pilfers, Mephistopheles, Spring Hill Jack, Hub City Stompers, Rude Boy George, and Sergeant Scagnetti. It's going to be an awesome show, and not all these bands playing together all the time doesn't happen. So you might get one or two together sometimes. They'll be playing like in New Jersey and Connecticut, but not all of them together at once. So, and especially a show in Manhattan too. It's like a lot of shows are in Brooklyn. This is in Manhattan. So it's going to be a special night. I originally had this idea in my head to do 4-band show on my birthday, and Cooley Ranks, of course, ran with it and made it even bigger, and then called it Radix Fest after the late Rudy Crew singer Roy Radix. It's going to be an awesome show in New York City, so come on out and celebrate the life of Roy Radix and on my birthday. Tickets are on sale now at Live Nation. At some point, maybe closer to the show, I will be doing a podcast episode with some of those guys in the bands, some of the bands playing. We'll see if it happens. I was originally supposed to do it a couple of weeks ago, but then I got sick with the flu the day before, and then I couldn't do it. Man, that was frustrating, but hopefully I'll get around to talking with at least Cooley and some of the guys soon. Oh, and another big piece of news, I removed the music episodes from the podcast at the end of March so I could put the episodes on Spotify. The Hudson Valley episode with Chris Taylor, I recut to just have us speaking about the scene, since there was a lot of good stuff in there, so I didn't want to like have it just be gone forever. So now there's about 13 or 14 episodes on Spotify that are with people and not music and stuff like that. So you can listen to that on Spotify now, or you can listen to wherever you get podcasts. But it was really important for me to get the podcast on Spotify, since it's a big platform and a lot of people are navigating towards there, and just is another area for people to listen to it. But to fix the situation of music not on the podcast anymore, I started to do playlists. So I went back to all the playlists that I did since last May when I started the podcast, and I recreated it into playlists on Spotify. Now, some episodes don't have all the songs and clips, because Spotify just doesn't have everything. One thing, they don't have the Comsat Angels. I don't know why. They have like bootleg BBC audio, but that's another thing. So you can go back and listen to all those playlists now. Plus, I've started to do new music playlists. Each month, I will be picking a bunch of new music that came out, singles, just whatever stuff that I can think of that fits within our program. And I'm doing that and releasing it at the end of the month. I think there's the March playlist is up there now. It's about 3 hours long, since I haven't done a playlist in a while, so I had a lot of stuff to add. So you can check that out. If you search for ReadJunk, you should be able to find the podcast and also find my playlist on there as well. It's under my personal account, but it was under ReadJunk anyway, so it's all right. So you'll be able to find the search ReadJunk or ReadJunk playlists, but I'm sure I'll have an awesome playlist for you for April as well. Man, that was a lot of news. For this episode, I talk with my buddy Chris Taylor about Shazam, so we review that, and then we talk about the bunch of movies coming out this summer. Pretty much we geek out and talk about all the movies that are coming out this summer that we're looking forward to, and some in the fall as well. It's a fun conversation, and I hope that you like these kind of episodes. If you do, let us know, and we'll do more of them. Before I leave, be sure to follow the site on social media for updates. I'm getting pretty active on Instagram lately, so be sure to follow ReadJunk on there, as well as Facebook and Twitter for updates. Okay, so here's my movie talk with Chris Taylor. Enjoy. All right, so let's get into it. This is kind of like a catch-up episode, and also a summer preview of all the movies and things like that, just because I haven't done a podcast in a while. Been sick and all this other stuff, so I just needed to get back into it and do something. So we saw Shazam over the weekend, so I wanted to do like a kind of quick review of that. Now, for people that don't know, Shazam's like the latest DC movie. It's pretty much, I describe it as like Big meets Superman, I guess.
Well, you said Shazam like 3 times already, and I haven't seen you become Shazam. So is this a work of fiction?
The wonders of movies.
Oh wait, I just said it too. It did nothing.
Maybe I'm supposed to say Skazam, do the ska one.
Oh yes, Skazam. I saw some of my friends that I guess maybe I got to subscribe to ReadJunk. They were sharing that too. I was like, yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I try to do like a stupid meme or bad ska puns. The one I just did was for the Scavengers, and that one went viral.
Yeah.
With all my ska people, like Real Big Fish was sharing it, the Interrupters, and a bunch of people. So I knew that would, because it was a good one. Now I think the guy that did that is doing a ska documentary, he wants to print it out for the festival, for the Back to the Future festival.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, if you sell it, just 50-50. I'm sure it'll be like a very limited release, because it's it is somewhat copyright infringement, but that hasn't stopped me before. But yeah, Shazam was it's like it's like the 7th DC movie. And in that DC extended universe, I guess they're calling it, not MCU, but like.
Well, it depends on where you start. I mean, I was even thinking, because I mean, there's Marvel movies that technically don't count as in there. Like, I don't think they count the Ang Lee Hulk movie, but they count the Edward Norton one, which kind of was a sequel. So I don't.
But I guess it's because Marvel had the rights to it, so I think that's why.
Yeah. But actually, Universal owns the rights to Hulk, which is why they've never been able to make a movie. Like, it's been some weird snafu there.
Yeah, but I think it was like a joint thing with Universal, Marvel is why, and that's why people. It's always the unforgotten movie of the MCU. I don't really care for it. Other people like it, but I don't know. I like Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk. But DC time. We'll talk. Yep. So what did you think of the movie? I mean, I thought it was one of the best DC movies to date.
I mean, like, I came in off of Aquaman because I watched that like a week earlier, and Aquaman's always kind of had the reputation before the portrayal of Jason Momoa, Roman Reigns, or Robert Trujillo, whichever one of them played that character, because they all look like the same person. Never seen them in the same room, so you can't really convince me if they're not. But watching that, it's like there was always that weird stigma that it's a joke character. Oh, his powers, he can communicate with fish, But like, I felt like there was a better tone there. I mean, it was a good story. And I think my only real hang up with the movie was the guy who played his brother. His CGI hairline just looked fucking weird. I couldn't take my focus away from that. I didn't understand why he had to have a CGI hairline.
Oh, you're talking about Patrick Wilson and Aquaman? Yeah, I mean, they all had like their hairs tied back, and William Dafoe had like a man bun.
I mean, that was cool, but I thought it was a cool take. So going into this, it's like I expected to kind of say like, okay, maybe I'll get a little bit more serious, although I knew the tone was going to be a little bit lighter and thing.
A lot lighter, yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting to see like, I didn't really see any weird like CGI glips, because I mean, coming in off of, I think it was the end of Wonder Woman, that whole thing just looked like, it looked like they just never finished the CGI, and it just looked terrible. But here, I think the only real like weird CGI blips that I saw was like towards the end. I mean, I don't know if we want to get spoilers, but there was like some weird neckline issues in the costumes. I don't know if you picked up on that.
No, I didn't. Maybe, yeah, that was, I mean, it seems like a nitpick, but.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, to me, it's like, it's not that I was going out of my way to look for it, but I mean, aside from that, I thought that the movie was really good. I know we were all asking afterwards about the post-credit scene, like, what the heck was that? But I met up with one of my friends, obviously Drew, who I did a podcast episode with. He explained to me that that's one of, I was going to say Captain Marvel, Shazam's, one of one of their top three nemesis. So there's the Doctor, there's the Worm, and then there's Black Adam, who
Dwayne Johnson's going to be doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little confused because they announced him signing on for that character like years ago.
Yeah.
And he was a non-factor in the movie. Like,
I think he's going to be getting a standalone first, like a solo movie, and then maybe he'll probably be after that and see how it does, and then see if they do, because they're already going to be doing the sequel for Shazam. So it's, I think he'll probably be the baddie for that, maybe, or maybe the third one. I don't know. I mean, it only made 51 million domestic for the opening weekend, which was pretty good considering that the budget wasn't that big. So at least they're like, okay, we can make better movies that with a smaller budget, and then go from there instead of doing these monster fucking movies where it's like Batman vs Superman, where it's like $300 to make, or $300 million to make, and then it does a shit job of telling a story. I don't know. I just think it works when they do these grounded type stories, grounded in a way, but also simple, where it's like it was more about the family, and also besides having like it's also a great action type movie and superheroes and stuff. It was also had a lot of heart to it too.
yo,
I just felt like giving my son a hug as soon as I got home, because I was like, oh, just the stuff that Billy had to deal with like trying to find his mom and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, that to me, like when it got to that scene, it's like, I felt like the film was like really light, and I was like, wow, man, DC's making good strides. And then that part where he went to meet his mom, I was like,
yeah,
that is the darkest thing. Like, wow,
it's like
man.
you bitch.
that was such a heavy scene, man.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man. That's the one thing, like it almost overshadowed my enjoyment of the movie, because I was like, wow, man, like you were making us all feel so good, and then that scene hit us like, wow, man.
Yeah, that was a tough one to watch. But I think it helps the movie, and just like the whole fact of it's about family, and it was also like it seems like a fun family. I wouldn't bring my kid to it just because I think there were some scenes that were kind of scary, like with the sins.
Oh yeah,
like biting a head off almost, but you don't see it, kind of thing, and
that almost felt like kind of Disney-esque in a way. And I know it's a different company, but like just the presentation of that, I think that's kind of one of the charms of this movie. Is you're not seeing like the presentation that we got in the other movies. It felt like it was like come from a completely different like realm.
Yeah, it did feel a little bit different, I guess, in a way. And I guess this character's been around since the 30s or 40s or something. I don't know.
Yep.
I guess it's been a while, but I think overall I really enjoyed it just because it was just Zachary, was it Levi?
Yeah. I forget, what was the show was from? Was it Chuck?
Yeah, it was Chuck, because Matt always talked, you gotta watch it, man. You gotta watch it. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, there's so much shows to watch. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, he was great as the lead, and the kid that I think he was in It, I think the first movie It, his friend with
his friend. Oh yeah.
He was really good. What do you think about Mark Strong being the villain? I mean, he seems like he's a villain in everything except I always think about the Kingsman.
Yeah, no, I mean, like. It kind of fit. I don't know. It's like you have those guys who are like, just forever type is, the villain. It's like I remember like when I finally saw Christoph Waltz and I think it was Django. It was like, wait, he's not the bad guy here. How does this work?
Yeah. But I guess he enjoys being the villains. A lot of actors like playing villains. It's like I guess it's more rounded, and he certainly had a lot of emotional, like heavy kind of stuff to deal with too, like with his parents and and his father. I guess was just a complete dickhead to him and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it was all right as far as the villain and stuff. It was a good one-on-one versus him and Shazam, and the twist at the end, I don't want to give it away too well, like with like involving Billy's family and stuff was good. Like I didn't see that coming. But in a way, I'm not surprised just because I've seen old comic book covers of it since I haven't read the comics. So I kind of was like expecting it, but maybe not this movie. It seemed a little early, so I was like, it was great when it happened though.
I think there was a news post that spoiled that for me.
Oh.
And I was like, like 2 weeks ahead of it, and I was like, really, man?
I avoided that then. I don't know. Because
Well,
it made the movie so much, like, it was almost like a cheering moment when it happened. It was like, yeah.
I've already gone into shutdown for Avengers Endgame. I know there was some other trailer or something that they put up explaining Iron Man. I'm like, no, I'm going to wait for the 3-hour plus movie to find this out.
Yeah, I was watching him on Jimmy Kimmel last night, and they showed one scene. I was like, oh man, I was watching it through Chromecast, so it's a kind of a bitch to fast forward it. So
Yeah.
I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like, oh well. I'm like, it's still gonna. There's only so many scenes they're gonna show within a 3-hour movie. So I'm like, I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of stuff that's gonna be new to me. I'm trying not to watch as many trailers and oh, there's a new trailer now. Like even the one last week when I was trying to buy tickets, they had a trailer, and I held off for 4 hours of the 6 hours that I waited to buy tickets. Which, man, that was a disaster. Did you get tickets for that yet?
Yeah, no, I ended up getting one for the Saturday show because I'm not sure what my schedule's gonna be like with the new job. So I figured I'd play it safe and get a Saturday.
Oh, so
Plus,
opening weekend?
Yeah, I'm like,
Okay.
let me figure out a good time because you're going to be trapped in this theater for like 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, are they going to have like an intermission in the middle?
And then Kevin Feige was like, "Oh, there's going to be no times to go, so you just better not drink anything." Like, I'm probably going to wake up and not go drink anything just because I'll have one sip and I'll have to take a piss.
Well, like Target right next to the Cinema World in Lincoln, they have adult diapers, so maybe I might invest.
That is a good idea. But then you're sitting in your own piss for 3 hours. It's like, yeah, Connor, when he's in his diaper, for a long time, I'm like, do you not know that you're sitting in your own urine right now and it doesn't affect you at all?
I mean, when you're a kid, you don't care. You go play in the mud. You'll walk in the stream with your new school sneakers on. But now you're just like, ooh, I can't walk in that stream. I got my sneakers on. I don't want to mess them up.
Yeah. So going back to Shazam for a little bit, I mean, so where do you compare it with other DC movies?
I mean, we're just coming out, so it's kind of the afterglow because we just saw it. I had a lot of stuff going on that weekend that I saw a lot of, and so much stuff happened, a lot of overload. But I mean, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, like you mentioned too, it's like I just saw Aquaman too, and I was impressed by that. It was a lot better. I think I don't like the concept of them making a universe so much as being like a competition point. Like, let their movies be their own thing. Don't try to be Marvel. Be you.
Well, even that, I don't like comparing Marvel movies. It's like it's so hard to do it because it's like I kind of base it on Iron Man was good, the first one, and then it's like I love Guardians of the Galaxy. I like all 3 Captain America movies. There's so many different ones to pick, like Avengers, all the Avengers. It's so hard to, and then I see all these lists where they list Thor Dark World first, and just to piss people off, and it's like, get out of here with this bullshit. But yeah, it's just so hard comparing the movies. But I mean, I would put Shazam up high on my list as far as the recent ones.
Yeah, I would probably do the same. And yeah, I mean, even it's like you go back and I sat through Suicide Squad because it was on TV, and I was like,
I saw that in the theater.
It's just like, even when I think I saw Batman, Superman, Dawn of Justice, and I sat in the theater and saw that, and I was just like, this is such an overbearing thing to get through. It's just like, I get the need for them to want to rush out characters they've been sitting on for years, but I mean, I feel like maybe with the Wonder Woman movie too, that they're starting to correct the course. I think them pushing movies out and learning from their mistakes is probably going to be the only way they're going to get through. Although, some of these things, I think there's a Birds of Prey movie, which is supposed to be based off of, I guess, the side characters in Suicide Squad. And I don't know if they're actually going to make this Flash movie, but I don't have too high expectations for.
I think the guy that plays him was Ezra Miller. I think wants to take over for the Flash and write it and maybe direct it or something like that. So, hey, if he can make it work, I'm fine with it.
Have him be the Flash. Don't have him be, a DC version of Peter Parker. That's just what it came off of when I saw Justice League. I'm like, why do you have to do this?
Yeah, Justice League was not a good movie at all. I didn't care for any of the Superman movies. Like Batman vs Superman, I didn't like. I didn't like Man of Steel. I don't know. It was just too dark and like.
You know what? You have a graphic design background and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I mean, one of my major nitpicks was just the overall thing. Like, I don't know if they did, like, you'd probably know better if they had like some sort of blue filter. Like they concentrated on a whole bunch of colors throughout the movie, and I don't know. That to me was like one of the biggest distractions.
In what movie?
I'd say going back to Man of Steel,
Oh.
not so much Batman versus that, but it seemed like everything had this weird blue hue to it, and there was a lot of weird establishing shots. Like I'm no like
It's probably
director.
just like the color correction and stuff. When they start doing that, it's like usually the preference of the editor or the director. And I don't know. I don't actually remember too much about it. I think I've seen the movies once each, and I was like this. And then Justice League was just terrible. Thankfully, I mean, Wonder Woman was like the best one. I think the ending sucked, but when it got too CGI and stuff. But I'm hoping that the sequel corrects some of their mistakes from the first one. But
That's next year, right? Maybe.
I think so. I don't think it's coming out this year, unless it's coming out later this year, like around
Yeah.
November, December.
I looked down the list of stuff that's coming out, and I didn't see it.
I looked till September, and then I'm like, it's not summer anymore after like Labor Day. But I would do Shazam, Wonder Woman on top. I mean, I don't think anything compares to Christopher Nolan's like The Dark Knight and Batman.
Oh yeah, those are. I don't know. It's weird. Everybody gets mad about, like, I remember when the original Batman movies came out, like the Michael Keaton stuff. Everybody was mad about the TV show, and then we kind of got a little deeper in with like Batman and Robin and all that stuff. Like, I mean, I kind of appreciate those movies for what they are. I don't sit there and like say this isn't what the comics is. It's just like they were kind of their own world. I mean, I grew up seeing those old Batman shows on the Pix Channel 11, so
yeah, I'm still watching them. They're on was it IFC I think now, so I'm always watching them on the weekends. I'm like, there's nothing on. Oh, Batman.
Yeah.
Where were we? We were talking about Batman, Super Shazam, and
I mean, I maybe those were good. I mean, I didn't see the third one in the Nolan trilogy until after it came out.
Yeah, that one. That's why it's like it's kind of sometimes I say Batman Begins and Dark Knight and The Dark Knight, because Dark Knight Rises, there was a lot of good things I liked about it, but then there was Bane, which as soon as I heard that in the theater, I looked over at Chris and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, this is real? I'm thinking this. Yeah.
Yeah. I had some issues that year when it came out, so I couldn't see it in the theater, but then I got it on DVD. And I don't know how I avoided this all summer long, but I didn't hear anything, but I saw all the memes and stuff like that. So when I got the actual DVD, I bought it from Walmart and I put it in, and then the first scene comes on with Bane and everybody's talking like this. And I'm like, did I get like a defective copy or something? Like, did Walmart do some fuckery with this? I mean, I'm like, what?
It sounded like the underbite guy from Venture Brothers. I don't know if I've ever seen them. Like, it was long, just underbite, and but it was just so bad, and I was like, oh man, what did you do? You ruined it. I like Joseph Gordon-Levitt's like whole kind of twist thing at the end, and then it's like, and it's over. It's like, oh, or it's like, oh, probably Robin kind of thing, but. So I was like, I want to see more, and I thought Christian Bale was great as Batman and Bruce Wayne. I would put him number one, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't think Ben Affleck's doing anymore. I think someone else is. I think they're going another direction now. I think as far as the new Batman.
He says he's out. I mean, I thought, despite what you feel about those two movies like that, I thought he was pretty decent. But there was just that little bit of like, it just seemed a little too try hard.
Yeah, it's like it just felt too forced. Of like, ooh, we got to be dark.
Yeah,
let's make it rain, and then Suicide Squad was just a complete joke. The best thing about that movie was, I think I like Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, but I also like Will Smith as Deadshot. Now that they're remaking it, I guess they're not doing Deadshot because Idris Elba is going to be in it, but now he originally was going to be Deadshot, and then now he's not. Now they're doing a new character, which I'm really happy that James Gunn's doing a movie, because maybe I think he'll be a good director for it.
I was wondering about that though, because like obviously, and I don't know, this is kind of BS that like he signed on to do that movie after he got kind of axed from Marvel because of that stupid crap on the internet.
I'm so happy about that. Yeah, because I was.
Now he's back. I mean, I wonder what Marvel's urgency is to make Guardians 3, because I forget what the original slate was, because I know they did delay it at least once. But.
Yeah, it'll probably come out like 2011, the earliest, because he's working on Suicide Squad now, and it's like Jai Courtney's going to be returning. The lady that brings them all together, what's her name? It starts with an H, maybe.
Yeah, I forget.
Viola Davis. Yeah, I think she's coming back. And then Margot Robbie's coming back, but then I think it's all new characters, I guess.
The director of Cadmus, that's who she was.
Yeah.
Whose name I can't remember.
Yeah. I just remember that movie. They were trying so hard to be Guardians, with like playing all this music. So every time they would introduce a character, they play some type of music, and it would just hit you over the head like, oh, now it's this song. Oh, now it's this song.
That's why when we went into Shazam, I was like, all right, let's count how many tired ass classic rock songs they play, and I was kind of surprised. Maybe there was like 2.
I don't even remember the music that they play. I remember the end credits because they had Ramones covering Tom Waits, which was a perfect song of "Don't Want to Grow Up."
I think they played a Queen song during a montage.
Oh right, they did. Don't Stop Me Now. That's right.
Yeah.
Which that's all right. I love Queen. So.
Yeah, I thought it fit the film well, which was like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to use the songs, when they apply, not just, well, James Gunn did all this,
It's like, well, James Gunn can make it work. You guys can't.
Yeah.
So let's change gears now, and let's talk about the movies that we're most looking forward to seeing this summer. I did a top 10 list, not based on when they released, but I guess based on anticipation of it. Obviously, number 1 is Avengers, which comes out in like 2 weeks. Really can't wait for that one. I actually took off work because the whole weekend I'm shot with like family things. So it's like, all right, I'm just taking off because it's so hard to find a babysitter.
I thought about doing the same thing, but seeing as I'm leaving the job and starting a new one, it's probably not a good idea. But hey, I need off on the 26th. Why?
I gotta go see a movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It should be interesting because when you look at like a lot of these, a lot of the superhero movies, I guess aside from Avengers, I'm really psyched up for Spider-Man Far From Home. But then there's the other thing, because we had the merger with Fox and Disney is now complete. But I don't know. There's a lot of backlash, whether or not they're going to move forward. And it looks like they're going full steam ahead with this X-Men Dark Phoenix movie. And I'm just not seeing a lot of positive buzz.
I still haven't seen the last one. I'm like, it just... Yeah, well, Apocalypse.
They're also teasing that reshot New Mutants movie for August, and I'm wondering if they're actually going to release that or they're going to pull it, because that's got actually it's one of 2 movies I guess this summer that's got someone from the cast of Stranger Things in it, because it's a movie was Millie.
So Avengers, do you have any predictions on who do you think will be the one to stop Thanos? Do you think it'll be a joint effort, or do you think it'll be an individual character or 2 people? I think it might be like Captain America and like Iron Man together stopping him.
Well, I certainly don't hope it's Ant-Man going in Thanos' butt, I'll tell you that.
That would be pretty funny, but...
yeah, I don't know. I've heard rumors that they're saying that it could go into the quantum realm.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much like the key to that. And I don't know. There's a lot of people like Nerdist, blows up every time they put out a trailer with like 8 different individual videos they want you to watch about their theories about this and that. But, there might be another villain that actually turns out to be a hero. And it's like, well, we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I was originally expecting everybody to die whose contract was pretty much up, and that they were going to pass down the Cap Shield, and somebody else would take on the mantle of Captain America.
People always think it's either Falcon or a Bucky or one of those guys that will do it. Which I could see Bucky doing it more since he's more has, unless they make Falcon have like superhuman strength and stuff like that, and do the same kind of experiment on him. I don't know how that will work.
It made it work in the comics, so there's got to be like some sort of backstory. But I question how they're going to move forward, as far as like individual movies and stuff like that. Because, obviously they've said there's going to be another Black Panther movie. And I guess maybe Chris Hemsworth teased the idea that he's open to doing more movies. So
yeah, I don't see them killing him off yet. I think if the ones the two that I think will be Captain America or Iron Man or both, but I have a feeling I just don't see one of them sticking around. I just feel like Chris Evans wants to do other things direct, and probably it looks like he wants to get into politics. But yeah, I guess we'll find out. I'm just looking forward to either way. I'm gonna be my heart's gonna be intense that weekend because I got that, and then Game of Thrones. Episode 3 is supposed to be a big battle and stuff, so it's really my heart's gonna be just like stop.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff going on TV wise too. Aside from that, like right now, I think you're watching What We Do in the Shadows. I think that's cool.
Yeah, I like the first 2 episodes so far. I still haven't seen the movie, but I think I'm doing that on purpose because I don't want that to overshadow the show. I want to, and then maybe after the season ends, I'll go back and watch the movie.
Yeah, I recommend watching it after the season just because it'll give you more of the same. Like I guess after the season's done, it'll leave you want more. So that'll be the more. And especially I don't know how deep they're gonna go in. I guess this Wednesday's preview they said they're gonna bring the werewolves into it. Oh. To me, that part of the movie when he came in when Rhys Darby, I think it's Rhys or Rice.
Yeah, Rhys Darby. Yeah.
Yeah. That whole part of the movie was probably one of my favorite parts in general, just because it was so ridiculous. Like the way he talks, I always loved him in Flight of the Conchords. So just any more that you can get of him. And then I watched, what was it? I think it's like Poppin'.
Do you like the thing on TBS that he's in? The show?
I haven't seen that.
Wrecked. I highly recommend Wrecked.
I gotta watch that.
The first season they make fun of Lost, and then they kind of go into other things. And then it's like they're making fun of Hunger Games like last season, and it's just it's like one of those comedies that would be on one of the other networks, but now it's like TBS gets it, and it's surprisingly really really funny. I would recommend it. Checking out Wrecked, and even the Detour with Jason Jones. That used to be on the Daily Show. Yeah, those 2 shows are really good on TBS.
I thought that episode he did with the X-Files, I know some people hated that, but I love that episode. I think it was
I haven't seen an episode of X-Files, so kind of.
Yeah, it was really good. Just it was basically the focal point was on him, and he played a lizard person. And it was great.
Okay. All right, let's go back to movies now. We're talking TV. So Avengers is our top one that we can't, and then I would say Spider-Man Far From Home is probably our second. I'm really hoping that it's just as good as the first movie. I hope it doesn't get into the sequel blues and it's just not as good and doesn't live up to expectations, I guess.
I'm just hoping it's not super predictable because obviously, they made it sound like they weren't going to use Mysterio as the main villain. That there might be another villain in on that. But
I think it's Hydra Man or the Externals or Internals and something. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see how that
External
works
hard drive.
They've done. If you watch Spider-Man the animated series, I'm just hoping that it's not a verbatim of any Mysterio episodes that they had there. But we'll see. It looks cool.
Yeah, and then on my number 3, I have John Wick 3, which those movies are just fun to watch. And it's just people get shot left and right. Oh, it's good entertainment.
If I'm a little torn because if I'm looking at number 3, I don't know if I'd put It 2 there or Men in Black International.
It It surprised me pretty good. I mean, I'm not a horror fan at all, and I think what drew me into the movie was that it was like kind of felt like the Goonies in a way. So I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to have that element now since they're all grown up now.
Well, it's weird because.
But I'm curious to see how it finishes.
Yeah, I mean, we grew up and we probably saw the original one on TV like a billion times with Tim Curry. Right?
I never saw it. No.
Oh, really?
I am a pussy.
It was always on, and it's just like that was such a strong performance. And going into this, it's like I hate to be that dare to compare guy, but I mean, I don't know. Just watching it, it seemed like two different movies. You know.
That's what I feel like it's going to be for this one. So I'm hoping that they still have, maybe they do some flashbacks in a way with showing the original cast with the kids, and then show them as adults. But yeah, I hope that element of them being young and it's fun. They're trying to hunt down this creature and stuff like that. I'm hoping that element is still there.
Oh yeah.
But I have that at number 8 for my list. What do you have as your fourth pick that you're looking forward to?
I mean, it would be toggle between that and was it the Men in Black International? I mean,
that looked awful to me. I don't know. That's like I can't get into it.
You know what it is? I'm just caught up because Valkyrie and Thor are in it, and like I can't fixate beyond that.
I think it's the trailers I think the trailers aren't put together well. So I think it's just like, and you got Liam Neeson in it, and I think who else was it? Glenn Close or somebody else?
Yeah,
She had like white hair. I forget who it was. But yeah, the cast seems put together well, but I don't know. It looked like the trailer did nothing for me. So I'm hoping there's another trailer that's like, yeah, and like this gets me pumped to go see the movie now. But I'll probably I think I've only seen the first two. I didn't even see the third one. I think by the talk about bad CGI, like go back to those movies.
Yeah, was the third one with James Brolin?
Yeah, and I think Jermaine Clement. Or the guy yeah.
Another Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've seen that one a lot. It's been on TV a lot, and it's like I don't know, for some reason, like I can't watch it. I mean, I didn't think that was a particularly strong performance from Jermaine Clement, though. I mean, mainly it was that, like, it was another one of those where it got to the end, like, that part was kind of a bummer. But, I mean, I don't know. Those movies are always kind of fun, and when you saw, like, the worms in the trailer, it's like, oh, you know, maybe there'll be those weird, you know, spacey type elements that'll make it a little fun.
Yeah, and Chris Hemsworth is actually really funny, so I'm hoping the movie is good, at least. I mean, I don't know. There's something about the trailer, though. It's like, like a shoulder shrug.
Yeah.
I actually think Quentin Tarantino's movie is going to be really good. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Oh, but like Sharon Tate and Charlie Manson and stuff like that. So, and the trailer was like really deceiving because it's like this whole fun, like lightheartedness, and it's like, there's Charlie Manson, Charles Manson. And so it's like, yeah. But I'm like, yeah, and it has like the cast of that movie looks excellent because I think this is his 9th movie, and then he's doing one more, and then he's done. So I think that'll be a big draw, I think, for the year. For the summer anyway. I have Toy Story 4, which the trailer just looks kind of depressing, but at the same time, like it's got to be Toy Story. It's got to be funny.
They just make those. They manufacture those to shift Kleenex boxes.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the third one recently again with Connor, and man, I was like, always get so weepy at the end. I'm like, damn you, Pixar! Like every movie I've cried at Pixar movies. I think Coco and Up. I was like, that's a tough one to watch at times.
Oh yeah.
What do you got for number 5?
I mean, I kind of feel like I start to get out of summer. I mean, I think, was it the Joker movie? That's supposed to come out.
The trailer for that looked awesome, though. I mean, I was watching it at work, and I just started laughing when he started laughing because it kind of like got me excited. I'm like, wow, that's a good laugh. I'm like, okay, I'm sold.
I saw somebody post a meme up. They were like, you know, the old Joker, you know, he got changed, you know, he got turned into what he became, after he was thrust into a vat of acid, and they're like, this time he gets turned into what he is by just being in society. I was like, wow, that kind of puts like an interesting spin on it and makes me interested in it.
And Joaquin Phoenix going totally meta and looks really skinny and scrawny and just looks like he's like shut up heroin or something.
And that was filmed. I don't know if the whole thing was filmed in Newark, but parts of it were, right?
In Jersey City, yeah, because I think I recognized he was getting thrown down the stairs of City Hall of Jersey City, unless that was Newark City Hall, but I know they filmed some stuff at Jersey City. Because Matt works down in Newark, so he was like, it's like, oh yeah, I recognize like most of those shots or where those things were, I guess.
Yeah.
For number 6, I have is the movie Yesterday, that one, the Beatles movie with Danny Boyle and Richard, what's his name? Richard Coyle, maybe. Trying to think of who directed like Love Actually and those kind of movies.
That's an interesting concept to just, with the whole thing where it's like, he exists in a universe where the Beatles never did, so he can claim all their songs. And
it just like the trailer for it was excellent. It was like, oh man, I want to go listen to Beatles now, and this looks kind of funny in that quirky, British UK kind of comedy style that's over there that Richard is good at writing. And I don't know, has Danny Boyle really done a comedy though? I can't remember.
Not that I can think of.
Yeah, not that I can think of. I mean, Trainspotting had some funny stuff in it, I guess. But yeah, so I'm like, I don't know if I'll get to the theater to see that one, but that's definitely one I'm looking forward to seeing at some point. And then it was another one. I just watched a trailer for that today with Kumail and Dave Bautista doing Stuber, I guess it's called, where it's like he's a cop and he goes and Kumail's a Uber driver again, because wasn't he was an Uber driver in that movie that he wrote and stuff with him and his wife. I forget, but it seems like or maybe he was a Lyft driver. Oh, big difference. But that looked like a good kind of buddy comedy kind of thing.
Yeah, no, actually, I don't think that's going to be like the only movie with Batista this year, because
oh right, you saw that trailer for that one, like the My Spy or something, right?
Yeah, well, that too, but there's actually another one. I think it's actually coming out soon. I watched a lot of these movies. I got into them. Somebody referred me to the It Man movies, which is like a Donnie Yen thing. Of course, you probably know Donnie Yen more from his appearance in
Rogue One.
I think it was Rogue One. Yeah,
Rogue One, yeah.
But he's done these series of movies, and I guess there's going to be a spin-off movie called Master Z Ip Man Legacy, and Batista's in it, and he looks really weird. But
in what way?
I don't know. On the poster, he looks more like Pitbull than he does.
Which I guess,
Mr. Worldwide. Yeah, no. So that's going to see like a limited American release. So I'm kind of interested to see that, and I guess with him being in the movie, it's probably not going to be riddled with subtitles, so it might make it a little bit more easier to watch.
Yeah, I don't usually like to read movies too much. I think the exception is like Brotherhood of the Wolf. I love that movie. You ever see? Yeah, they're like from like 2000, I think it is.
I mean, most of them, like I've watched a couple of them. Like there was one. I don't want to say Kung Fury, but there was another one that was like a kung fu movie that was like hysterical and had subtitles from
Kung Pao, or what is that stupid movie with like?
Maybe that was it. Yeah.
No, I think I don't know if that was it. Was it? It was like a really bad movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things. But yeah, no, when I saw that, I mean, yeah, he's got 3 movies coming out. I don't know, man. And I still question this with Batista. I know everybody probably doesn't want to kill him as due, but when Guardians came out, I kind of think he eclipsed The Rock then. I mean, he might not be getting, buku bucks as far as, doing the roles, but I think overall he may have outgrossed The Rock that year when the first Guardian came out. I mean, I don't know. I'm not like that deep into, cinema and stuff like that to do the math.
Yeah, I was going to say that he's definitely becoming like the Dwayne Johnson, I think, Like he seems to be just in everything now. Like same thing with Dwayne Johnson, just like in everything.
Yeah, because I think that year he did Guardians, and then I think he was in the Bond movie that year.
And then he did Blade Runner like the year after. I think he was.
Oh yeah.
A brief scene, but yeah, he was in it.
It's weird though because you don't think he's put in the work and stuff like that, and then you see John Cena trying to be in movies, and I'm like, you're not Batista, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I like him. I'll definitely see some movies that he's in. The one, even like the Kitty one, the one like he was a spy and a little girl. He's helping out with the little girl and stuff. That even looked kind of like kindergarten copish, you know.
Well, I know there's I guess if we're going to talk about wrestler movies that are coming out this year, I believe CM Punk actually has a movie that just premiered at Sundance, and I'd be interested in see that. I think it's like something from the third floor or something like Girl on the Third Floor.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know when exactly that's going to be released. Obviously, if it came out at Sundance, I mean, it got rave reviews, but then again, you don't see people retweeting like this movie was terrible.
Speaking of wrestling movies, I want to see the one that Stephen Merchant did. The what F is for Family? Is that what?
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Fighting with my family.
Fighting with my family. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I did see it. I mean, I don't want to like ruin it for you, but I mean, the story of her family, it's really good. The whole movie, I guess, was originally based off of this BBC documentary they did on the family and stuff like that, and the focal point goes over there. The problem is once that movie leaves that portion and then it goes to WWE, of course they don't want to paint WWE a certain way because it is technically a WWE Studios co-production with what's it, $7 production or something like that.
No idea.
And I kind of thought that portion when it got over to her training and stuff like that, I felt like that was very false and kind of insulting. Apparently, Vince, whatever his name is, escapes me, but like his character was an amalgamation of like 7 different people.
Oh, okay.
I kind of felt like it was like the typical Vince Vaughn, like from any movie, and I don't know, it's like it just seemed. Like, he seemed very played out in the movie. Like, they probably could have cast that better.
Oh, so was Vince Vaughn was in the movie?
Yeah, he played the training center guy, but I don't know. It kind of gets into a gray area because, like, he was supposed to be an amalgamation of, like, 7 different characters, and one of those characters that he was based on actually got fired from the WWE Performance Center for being too rough and kind of, like, vindictively mean and abusive to people. So obviously you can tell they wouldn't put that in the movie.
Yeah, I'll still see it. I don't know. It still looks like for a non-wrestling fan like myself, people say, oh, even if you don't like wrestling, it's a good movie. So I'll still check it out.
Yeah, for the first half of the movie, was it Florence Pugh, I think, played Paige? I thought her portrayal was awesome, and I just thought that I don't really know too much about the family. I knew that her mother wrestled, and that was about it. But I thought her portrayal and what's her name from Game of Thrones and Sarah Connor Chronicles?
Oh, Lena Headey.
Yeah, I thought she was great. And I was just like, yo, man, Lena.
Yeah. All right, let's go back to our lists. Surprisingly, I actually have The Lion King on here. It's one of those the 2 Disney movies that we still have that are being remade that. It looks interesting to me. I don't know if this could be a complete clone of the cartoon like Aladdin looks like it might be. I don't know. It just seems like they're doing the same songs for all these movies, and I'm curious to see what they do with it. The
Dumbo thing looks just like every time I see that trailer, like I'm like, this looks sad. This doesn't look like uplifting and inspiring.
Yeah, and that's what people said. I guess it was like depressing, and I'm like, yeah, I'll skip that one. Tim Burton, man, what's going on with him? Like he used to be so. He's very hit or miss these days.
Yeah.
Do you have any? And then to round out my list, I have the Hobbs and Shaw one, which looked kind of stupid fun. The Fast and Furious spinoff. I don't know. It's in August for a reason, so it's probably like, this. I
mean, beyond that, I know this jumps ahead in the year, but obviously we're bringing up Lena Headey and Terminator Sarah Connor Chronicles. I'm really kind of stoked. I guess it's in October for Terminator Dark Fate, and then I guess closing out the year, I guess, is Star Wars Episode 9.
Yeah, I was just doing summer, so I would have obviously listed those movies, or at least the Star Wars one. I don't know what to think about the Terminator, but it's got Linda Hamilton back on it, so it's got to be somewhat decent than the other crap that's been released, like the Terminator Genesis one. God, that was terrible. And then
I still
Salvation,
haven't seen it.
yeah, Salvation was not that great.
I put Genesis on that list of, unless I'm seeing it for free or on Netflix, I am not paying for that movie. And I did the same thing with the Paul Feig Ghostbusters movie, and believe it or not, when I finally did see it on TV, I thought it was pretty good.
Oh, I still haven't seen it. I'm like, yeah, I think I'll pass.
You know, if you go into it with an open mind and watch it as its own movie and understand that there's going to be some Ghostbusters references, don't look at it as a sequel. You know, it's pretty decent. But I mean, if you're looking at it as this is a bad Ghostbusters sequel, then you're gonna hate it. You know.
Yeah, I just couldn't get past the trailers of it, so I was like, yeah, I'll if I see it on a plane somewhere or something, I'll watch it. But
every movie has like some of those characters that like you have to kind of ignore them. And, Melissa McCarthy is kind of one of those people that if I see a movie with her in it, like I'm just immediately like tuning. I'm like, I can't do this. But like for some reason, I was able to tune her out, and like the rest of the cast, I thought was really good.
It's like Leslie Jones is like screaming in the trailer the entire time, and it's like, okay, is that the only thing that's like your shtick? I guess I don't know, but yeah, maybe I would watch it eventually. But I guess they're making another one, so I think I'll be able to just not watch that one and just wait for this one to come out.
I'm surprised they're making another one. I'm still confused as to why they didn't like license it out to Netflix. I mean, I don't know how like revenues work for that kind of stuff, but I figured that'd be like some kind of a cash grab. I mean, I don't know, with the way like I guess the film industry is changing too. I mean, DVDs have got to be going down the decline since like Best Buy stopped carrying CDs. I assume that. Like,
well, you mentioned DVDs. It's like, well, it's like Blu-rays, but now it's 4K, and it's like, I don't know. I just watched The Mule the other day on 4K, and it didn't look different to me at all. It's like it's slightly crisper, but not a whole lot. I don't know. So I don't know what's going on with the industry. It's probably all going to be streaming soon enough, and then things in the clouds and.
Yeah, when I got the RoboCop one that was like the refresh or something like that, and of course I don't have all that 4K stuff, so I can't take advantage of it. But just the overall look of it was just way more cleaner. So I mean, it is nice to see that cleaned up, presentation.
So is there any other movies that you're looking forward to for the summer?
I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some stuff that's going to pop up here and there. I mean, you see those unexpected movies that'll just come up, and then it's like, wow, I didn't really think I'd like that.
Baby Driver was one of those movies that like 2 or 3 years ago, like when it came out, and I was like, oh, you have to see this movie. I'm like, okay. So, and then Kevin Spacey happened and ruined that. But these are other movies that are coming out, but it's not necessarily ones that I want to see. Hellboy is coming out like this weekend, I think. Hellboy.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I didn't think about that. I mean, I like the first two. I thought they were cool and they had their own feel. But I mean, I'm kind of on the fence. I'll probably see it eventually. I don't know.
Yeah.
I might wait until it comes out streaming or something like that.
Yeah, and then there's the Pokemon one like that. No, even with Ryan Reynolds voicing the character, it just looks stupid to me. I was never into Pokemon or anime or anything like that. So it's
I feel like that's. I'd want to see that, but I'd want to see that in the privacy of my own home rather than dealing with that fan base, because I'm not sure that that's a group of people I want to be around when I'm seeing that.
With the blinds down and doors locked.
Yeah, plausible deniability. I don't want anybody to know I'm watching that movie.
And then there's The Hustle, which we were posing, and I guess posing at the movie theater, goofing off with those. I guess it was the little stands and stuff with Anne Hathaway and the other one, that Australian chick.
Was it Rebel Wilson?
Yeah, Rebel Wilson. That's right. Yeah, that looked kind of funny when we saw the trailer. She's like another one that's turning into a Melissa McCarthy, where it's like, oh, she falls down. Oh, she makes a joke. Oh, she does something stupid.
Well, you always have those doppelgangers in Hollywood. It's like, oh, we can't get so and so. Let's get this person. They're pretty much the exact same person.
Yeah, it's like the Chris Farley kind of like typecast.
Yeah.
In a way. Then there's actually I don't know, I definitely won't get to see this in the theater, but the Tolkien biopic looked kind of interesting. Stephen Colbert is actually doing like a big screening for it for the Montclair Film Festival because he lives in Montclair. Cool. So they're doing. I got an invitation to go see it. I'm like, yeah, I'll just wait for it to come on video, I guess. There's then we mentioned Aladdin before, which we were making fun of that on Twitter like a couple months ago, or like when they were doing like all the same songs. It's like they're doing like a whole new world, and it's like, can you maybe come up with some new songs? I don't know. It's like Disney's like just like rehashing things. It's like, come up with some original ideas.
As long as it's not like a whole new world remix with like Cardi B or some stupid shit.
It's like, yeah, like a whole new world with auto-tune version of it. And then we saw the trailer for Godzilla, the new Godzilla. Never been a fan of Godzilla. So I don't care about that.
I watched a few of the older movies, and I mean, it's like I think when you take away the costume creatures, that kind of takes away some of the goofy charm that made those older movies lovable.
Yeah. There's the Elton John biopic, Rocket Man, that comes out Memorial Day weekend, I think. It's Dexter Fletcher who took over for Bryan Singer when he got fired off of Bohemian Rhapsody.
That might be decent, but I don't know. It's like I was listening to a podcast the other day where somebody explained one of the reasons for not wanting to go see Bohemian Rhapsody. It's like, look, I grew up, with Behind the Music, and I'm like, yeah, so did I. And then I'm like, wow, I'm an old fart. I've heard the tone of this movie's supposed to be a little darker, which I guess works. I mean, I've heard there's, like throughout Elton John's, probably heard it from his Behind the Music, but like I've heard that, he's had some dark times too, and I guess maybe they're going to cover some of that in this movie.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll definitely check that out at some point, but not to go see it in the movie theater. And then Dark Phoenix. That's what it should have been called. Damn it! No, yeah, it's ever since X-Men First Class was excellent, and then Days of Future Past was like the last one that I liked and saw, and then after that, it just feels like that X-Men and Fox is going out the window. I just kind of took a shoulder shrug. Like, I don't give a fuck about these people. They're going to redo it in 5 years. Probably with not this current phase of MCU, but I think at some point they're going to be doing Fantastic Four and X-Men and
it's weird though, because I guess we were talking about that with the Superman movies and stuff like that in this most recent run, where it's like, maybe don't reboot these things too fast. I know I was, even with the recasting of Spider-Man and stuff like that, like even this, I was like, come on, we just got those amazing Spider-Man
But thankfully
movies.
They made it work with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But
like,
I don't think I don't think they should go rush into it, like you said. Yeah.
I know my buddies at Devil's Due podcast, want to see those characters brought back over and stuff like that. But I'm thinking maybe put them to bed for 10 years. But we all know they.
I don't think that long. Maybe 5 years. 5 years sounds good. Like after Guardians, like Guardians play out when that comes, and then have like be an end credits or something, or with like Fantastic Four in the end credits, and then go into the Fox property type movies.
Yeah, give us a chance to put these older portrayals, like, get them out of our heads so that we can go with a little flair.
Like, I totally forget that those other... I actually haven't seen those Spider-Man movies before Homecoming. Those Amazing Spider-Man and the other one. I didn't with Andrew Garfield. I didn't see those.
Oh, I saw both of them. I mean,
there were parts of horrible, yeah,
there were parts of his portrayal that were, like, seemingly better than the Tobey Maguire movies, but, like, at the same time, there was also, like, this lack of humor in the movies that I felt like could have kind of uplifted it a little bit. Plus, when you get into that second Amazing Spider-Man thing, the whole dubstep electro thing, that was just, I still can't get over that.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm not in a rush to see those movies anytime soon either.
Well, I did make it about 20 minutes into the most recent Fantastic Four movie before I had to like shut it off and like wash my eyes out with soap.
I don't think I've seen any of the movies so far. It's just like I haven't had a desire to see it because the trailers make it look so bad. And I'm like, I'm not wasting my time on this.
It's not the trailers that made it look bad.
It's the movie, but but even like the ones with Jessica Alba and all those ones, I didn't see those ones either. So I don't know. It's like Matt was always a fan of Fantastic Four more than I was. I don't know if you read the books, but I know I collected more X-Men, so I've always been more of an X-Men fan. So I can't wait to see what Marvel does with it, but I to definitely give it a breather. Same thing with the way they're handling Star Wars. Like they were churning out all these movies. Like Solo, I think is one of the reasons why I think they're taking a step back now. So it's like they were putting out like 1 or 2 Star Wars movies a year, and it's just not the same as Marvel. It's like you need to have some anticipation for it.
Yup. And they even called off some of that stuff. Like I don't know if like they were talking about a Boba Fett movie, but I don't know
they're
if
not
they
doing
spun
that.
they spun that off. That's the show, right?
Well, they're gonna do the Mandalorian, which Star Wars Celebration is this weekend. This podcast will probably go up tonight or tomorrow. And so on Friday, we'll probably get the new title of the movie and the trailer and probably a poster and all that shit. And then they're doing a panel for The Mandalorian, which has Pedro Pascal in it and some other people. Guy from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul's in it. And I'm trying to think of who else is in that. But it looks like, well, Taka is directing it and stuff, and Jon Favreau, I think. So that series, I think, will be really cool.
Yeah, I mean, just I'm stoked for that whole service in general because there's so much cool stuff. Like I think they're gonna have, I don't know what exactly is launching, but I think they're gonna have the Loki series, and eventually they're supposed to have like a
Scarlet Witch and Vision series.
Yeah. And then there's supposed to be like a buddy team up movie between Falcon and Winter Soldier, which I'm really psyched for.
Yeah, those guys. I was just watching Civil War the other day. I'm like, yeah, those two like bickering back and forth and stuff was great. So I think definitely could see more of that. And we'll probably be getting more of that in the future for the movies as well, since I don't think either of those guys will die, even though they're both dead, aren't they? Right? Currently they are.
Well, I mean, we'll see. I mean, the quantum realm might have some different answers to that.
Yeah, we'll see. It's like, what? I heard one of my friends, I guess, was I think he was in the movie theater, and someone saw the Spider-Man trailer. It's like, oh, come on, he's alive! like it's a comic book movie. They're gonna find a way to win in the end. It's not like
it's not like they didn't tell you like 3 years earlier that this was their like 10, 20-year plan for movie releases, the Untitled Spider-Man movie.
Yeah. What? Oh, yeah. So I was laughing at that, but all right. So I mean, I think we covered a lot of ground with movies coming out in the spring, summer, and fall. Maybe we'll do another one in the fall, maybe because it'll be more defined of what's coming out then. But Hopefully I'll get to see some more movies besides Avenger and Spider-Man. I don't know. It's so hard getting to the movie theater sometime. But yeah, those are the ones I'm definitely looking forward to seeing. We'll see how the reviews are and whether or not I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll wait to sit home and watch that movie.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm hoping maybe make some summer summer concerts, like I saw there was a cool one that was just announced for Bold Point Park. It looks like Bad Religion and Cro-Mags with some Menzingers, Old Firm Casuals. They're going to be playing there in July. I think it's the 26th or the 27th.
Where is this?
It's in East Providence.
Oh, okay.
Old Point Park. So I'm like, that's only like 15 minutes up there. So, I mean, maybe I'll head out and check that out. I mean, and it's the Cro-Mags with John Joseph, not the other version that Harley Flanagan's trying to pass off, because apparently there's a copyright battle of the name right now.
Oh, that's fun. There's always something going on with bands and former members trying to sue each other, and God, can't we all just get along?
Well, I mean, I think the Misfits, it's just it's a financial agreement.
Yeah. And now they're playing in LA, so good luck
And
paying for those $700 tickets.
Hey, it's a smart thing just to play that market because I guess there's still tickets on sale for the show that they're trying to do in Chicago right now.
Oh. Yeah.
That's like only a week or two away.
I regret not going to see him down in Newark, but I don't know. I wasn't going to spend like $100.
I didn't regret not paying that whatever they were asking for that.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know. It's like they're not photography friendly, so it's like I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think Danzig is.
He's
first. That's been well established.
Like, how many photographers did he punch?
Yeah.
All right, we should end this now. All right, so it was good talking with you, and I will see you at the movies. No.
Yeah. See you in the pit.
See you at the movies Sunday.
All right. Signing off. This is Brian Kremko, and this is Chris Taylor. And download the episode and spread the word and all that stuff. We're on Spotify now, so go play some podcasts at Spotify. Just type in ReadJunk. But all right, I'm out. Later.